The devil always attacks the most personal things about humans. He always goes for the jugular, and this is as personal as it gets. This is as deep and as personable with human beings as it gets. This, family, your health, your mental health, the devil always goes for the things that are closest to us as humans. And this is one of those subjects. And I'm going to explain to you from the scriptures, this is part one, what exactly these sins are. And the reason I'm doing that is because they're frequently and commonly misinterpreted. In order to understand these concepts, you must understand the definition of the text. Okay? These are the words you need to vaguely be familiar with. You're already familiar with their translation here in the King James Bible. These are King James Bible words, but the Greek words are on the left there. Now, these words do not mean what you think they mean in some cases, and as a result of that, ministers, pastors, preachers, and people all over the country misexplain these words, causing people to have significant confusion and guilt over the sins. Okay? But if you have a clear explanation and definition of these terms, you're going to be fine. All right? I'll prove it to you. For example, this word here, porneia, is translated as, and that is the catch-all term for any kind of sexual sin. Any kind of sexual sin. Doesn't matter what it is. Any kind you can name right now off the top of your head. Did you think of one? That was fornication. It's the big basket all these sex sins fit in. It carries all of them. They're all fornication, right? So if you had an office affair, that's fornication. If you had sexual relations with a goat, fornication. If you are a porn addict, fornication. Everything is fornication. Porneia. Now, moikia is heterosexual sexual activity. Heterosexual. Okay? Using the aforementioned examples. Having an office affair is moikia or fornication. It may not be moikia. Why? Depends on the sex of the person you're having the affair with. Correct? If you are having an affair with someone of the opposite sex, it would be, if it's the same sex, pornos is what? That's translated whoremonger in the King James Bible. That's a sexually promiscuous male. Okay? And a whoremonger could be anything, really, involving males. Somebody living on the DL, professional gigolo, running the gauntlet. But it's a sexually promiscuous male. Porne is a same female. It's translated in the King James Bible as a harlot, which is equivalent of a prostitution. Okay? But technically, the terms mean someone who is sexually promiscuous, inappropriately sexually promiscuous. Okay? So it could be a player. You met somebody at your office who's a player. He slept with 5 gals at the office, right? You met some gal who's the town floozy. She slept with 15 guys. Okay? That would be a what? Porne, right? Okay. And then salgia is a catch-all term for, inappropriate, lustful sexual behavior. So, for example, years ago when I was living in sin, I'd have friends that had birthday parties at Bourbon Street. So I'd go down there for a party, and then the women would come up to you and they want the table dance. I was too cheap to have any table dances. I would just gawk from over here. What were they doing? Asalgia, wanton, lascivious behavior. You moon somebody. You walk around naked. Just something. That kind of sensuous type behavior falls into this category here, and it's translated as those terms there. Okay, this making sense? Uh-huh. Question?
Yeah, question. What category do you put sex toys in?
Sex toys, depending on what they're used for, could be homosexuality, could be heterosexuality, could be animals, could be. I mean, I don't know. Please don't. By the way, if you have a question similar to that one, don't raise your hand and say sex toys and then itemize your sex toys. God, I want to hear it. I'm not interested. Just leave the details out of the question.
You know the reason why I asked that is because I have ministered to a lot of married people and they think it's okay. And I tell them that it's not. They think it's just because it's just two of them. It's not a third person involved. It's okay to use.
Okay, she wants to know, is it okay to use sex toys if you're married, husband and wife? What? No. Okay, I don't get involved in that in counseling. Somebody comes in for counseling. If this one likes sex toys and this one doesn't like them, and this one is hurting that one, I say no on the sex toys. No. You're hurting that person. No. Okay. Did Jehovah say no sex toys? I did not hear him say that. I do not know that. And I'm not going to go into your bedroom and tell you what to do with your husband or wife. That's none of my business. You like sex toys? Don't give me the details. But is that a sin? I wouldn't know. That's between if you're hurting somebody, sure, it's a sin. If you've got a sex toy that malfunctions, okay, you have body pains or something, yeah, obviously, that is, get rid of it. No. Okay, now here's the chart for human sexuality. It's the best one I can come up with. Porneia engulfs all sinful activity, all of it. Anything you name or can think of falls into this category. And I'm emphasizing this as important because there's some scriptures that have these terms in them, and they will suddenly become as clear as a bell to you once you see the definitions. Okay? I'm setting this thing up for something important. Doesn't look important, but it is. So if I have this, if I have that, it's all fornication. So for example, here, all adultery is fornication, but not all fornication is adultery. For example, that's not adultery. Neither's that. But it is fornication. How are we doing? Raise your hand if I confused you. I need to get this point in to get these scriptures in. Lesbian is a fornication, but it's not adultery. It is fornication. Let me reemphasize again after that question. She said, why is lesbianism not fornication? No, I said it is fornication. Any type of sexual sin of any kind is, it's the catch-all term for the whole kit and caboodle. That's living on the down low. That's a bisexual behavior. That's not fornication. That is not adultery. That's fornication. All these things are fornication. Okay. Let's take a quiz, shall we? Which of these are moikia? Number one. Right? It is not. It is. Two. It depends. It could go either way. Three. Yes? No. Yes? Yes. If you have sex with the opposite sex, that would be adultery, and fornication. Got the plus sign in there. 4. Fornication, correct. No, it is not adultery. That would be what we would call homosexuality. That would be porneia. Masturbation, Yeah. Well, I don't know. Again, you got to figure out. You need more details going on here. Office affairs. Could be both. Need more details. Thank you. Now this is going well. I'm getting good responses right now. Remarriage. Well, yeah, need more detail. Could be both. Okay. So all of this, what you're looking at here every year, is massive fornication of any kind, every kind, any kind here, mark any kind, every kind. This would be then fornication without adultery. This would be the homosexual Mardi Gras in San Francisco every year, right? So that would be fornication, not moikia or adultery. This would be a fornication of any kind, all kinds, all over the place. Any kind of sexual deviancy you want, you can get in Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and then it ends up in the lake of fire. But it does stay in Vegas temporarily. Now I want you to watch this map because it's very important. Please don't take notes. This map is a map of Las Vegas. See all these brothels and sex service stations, so to speak? Just remember that chart there. It's going to come up later. Now let's switch to the Word of God, Leviticus 18 quickly, and then we will go down to 18 and 20. Those are the two sexual deviancy sections of the Old Testament text. And it says, you shall not lie carnally with your neighbor's wife to defile yourself with her. Okay? That was the old definition of adultery. Okay? The New Testament definition has expanded. Okay? It's expanded in the New Testament, but in the Old Testament, this was it. You shall not spread your seed. Zara is like semen. You shall not spread your seed with your neighbor's wife. You will contaminate yourself. It's contamination to sleep with your neighbor's wife. That was the old definition of adultery. Thou shalt not commit adultery. It's one of the 10 commandments. Exodus 20, you shall not commit adultery. Enough. Sleeping with your neighbor's wife. Heterosexual behavior. Leviticus 18. Then it also mentions, verse 22, you shall not lie, shakab, lay down, physically lie down with mankind like you lie down with womankind. It is toiba. It's morally disgusting. Okay, that doesn't mean like you're taking a nap with somebody. This is that chapter is all sensually related material, so you got to look at the context of it. You will not lie in it with any beast or an animal to defile yourself. That would be fornication. Or neither shall a woman stand before a beast to lie down. Rabah. That means to squat or lie out in front of an animal, a dog, a farm animal, whatever it is. It is heba, unnatural, Jehovah said. It's inappropriate and unnatural for humans to have any sexual relations with animals. That is a horrible sin. All right, so this would then be fornication, but not moikia, not adultery. This is same-sex behavior. This is also same-sex behavior, fornication, porneia. Now these are the ruins, believe it or not, from Pompeii when the volcano went out. Most of the town was a precursor to Las Vegas. Most of the buildings in the town were what? Yes, brothels. Almost the whole town. It was a seaside sexual vacation resort. What stayed in Pompeii, what happened there, stayed there. And after the volcano went out, it never left. It's still there. And there they are, burnt to a crisp in a brothel at the moment of the gas swept through the town from the explosion. The whole town was incinerated. They uncovered this really interesting painting in one of the brothels. See the women there, the men, and so on. Now see that map right there of Pompeii? They've dug up all these brothels, and it almost looks like current Las Vegas. That is amazing to me. And in this one painting they uncovered in a brothel, they actually had a demon painted in there. See the guy holding that demon's face? They knew it was demonic. So every kind, and any kind is just like Vegas. Nothing's changed. What goes around comes around. The more things change, the more they stay the same, and they are staying the same here. 2,000 years ago, most of the buildings in that town were brothels. It was a vacation resort for sexual behavior. Here is carvings over BC, before the birth of Christ, of people having intercourse with animals. Bestiality has been with humanity since almost the beginning, I guess, or near the beginning. All right? Nothing unusual at all about it. All right. In our society, there's nothing new about it at all. Sociologically, anybody here majoring in sociology? Anyway, nobody? All right. Well, the gay minority population in America is currently being overrun once again with HIV. It is taking off again, like it did in the 80s, and what's fueling it? Crystal meth. Crystal meth is sweeping through the gay community like a house on fire, and while they're on crystal meth, nobody practices what? Correct. You're on crystal meth. Dude, you don't care, and they don't care. When you're on crystal meth, it accelerates your sex drive and your sexual capacities and your appetites, and they're having intercourse 5, 6, 7 times a night, and they're hot the whole way through it. It supercharges you. But unfortunately, HIV is making a comeback. We're not going to see the same AIDS epidemic we saw before because the medications are holding it down. So, in the black community in America, what's going on there? The same thing, only it's what? Crack. Crack is sweeping African American neighborhoods like a house, like a plague. What's going on there? Every time you mix drugs with human beings, you have, the net result is, among other things, promiscuous behavior. It goes hand in glove. It's no different from going to a bar, like I used to do for years. Every Friday you go to happy hour, and every gal I looked at after 2 or 3 beers, looking gorgeous. And I had a sense they loved me. What am I talking about? Exactly what is perfectly normal. Anytime you mix a human being with a chemical, the demons are going to drive you into some kind of promiscuous sensuality. It's been going on from the beginning of time. Okay, he wants to know if that implies the food. Now, I don't actually know. I'm not that experienced with that. I didn't go every Friday to food happy hour. I went to have a bunch of beers and, blow off the steam and check out the chicks. The usual thing at happy hour. Well, nobody goes to happy hour? I hope you don't now, but my God, I went for years. Nobody knows anything but me for some reason. Why is that? All right. The crack epidemic is fueling the down low epidemic. Heterosexual males, black African American males, having homosexual behavior, but they're not gay. They're doing it for drugs, exchanging, swapping, paying, partying. These gay whoremongers, scriptural, prostitutes, go to these parties, and the guys get oral sex and different things, but they're not gay. They're just living on the DL. Okay. Am I boring anybody? Raise your hand if you're bored. Streamers, are you bored? Romans chapter 1 is the chapter for discussing this material. It's not discussed very much in the Bible at all. You got Leviticus 18, you got Leviticus 20, and now you've got Romans 1. Okay, God goes on to explain, Paul does, how horrible humanity is, and then he comes to a conclusion after he's through describing it in verse 1 on, that Jehovah gave up humanity to akatharsia, moral impurity. He gave them up because of their own lusts. Okay? Because they were dishonoring their bodies between themselves, and that is, people were doing all kinds of inappropriate sensual activities. For this cause, God gave them up to vile affections, to mia pathos, disgraceful passions. So that even the women changed the physikas. What is that? The natural use of their bodies. A woman's body fits with a male body by nature. It does not fit the same way. It's unnatural to be a lesbian. Likewise, the men leaving the natural, there it is, the physical, normal body use. My normal body use for sexuality is with the female, and it fits. They fit what God's saying, but the other way doesn't fit. And they burned in lust, and here's a word that's very interesting in this verse, Romans 1:27, orexis, which leads us to the pornography epidemic. These lust demons that get into the person's body shoot images and screen stuff through your mind. And it causes your mind has to kick in first. And then your body follows. That's why the sin is the lust of the eyes, because it goes directly to the mind. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. It starts here, then goes here. A little too graphic for this group, but that's how it works. And that's what God's saying. It started here in the mind, and it runs through your mind. What you want, what you like, what you see, your images, it's all processing in the mind first, and then it processes out through the body. Body follows your mind. Men working with men, that was what? Skemosune. It was morally inappropriate or indecent. That behavior is indecent in the eyes of God. Okay? In Maricopa County here, we have 3 churches, Christian churches, that have nothing but what in them? Homosexual, gays, exactly. Because gays, in those denominations, homosexual is not a sin. And there's 3 churches in town that have gays. There's a branch of Catholicism that has gays. That gays, homosexuality is fine. There's nothing wrong. It's not a sin. Okay? It's kind of a subgroup. Yes? Question? They read out of the same Bible we do, but when they interpret these scriptures, they don't look at these Greek words. They take the English words of different translations, and you can kind of mush those around a little. Okay? And besides that, people just don't want to believe that. They don't like it because they think people are born. You're either born gay or you're not. Okay? They believe that, and it's. They have a gay Bible, yeah. They have a gay Bible, and these words are changed. Yes, changed around, and it sounds okay. These spirits, by the way, this is off kind of on the side. These kind of demons, these homosexual demons, they're very hard to get out. They do not just come right out. They are powerful. I have just as much trouble getting homosexual demons out of people as everybody else does. It is nasty. They do not want to come out, and the person has to be 100% sold out to getting them out. If there's anything left at all, any desire, any urge to go back, any sense that these demons won't come out. They're awful. And they're manifestors. They're ugly and they pitch a fit when they come out. You see a lot of vomiting and weird stuff. They are nasty demons and they don't want to move. And if you don't have 100% cooperation of the person, okay. Romans 1:28. Continuing quickly, they did not like to retain God in their pignosis. They didn't want to recognize Him. See, and that's what it does in this science. Science doesn't want to recognize Him. There is no God. There's no. This all evolved, and you got a chemical problem, you got a DNA problem, you got a gene problem. So we just throw Him out. So that's what happened. They threw Him out. So God gave them over to a reprobate mind, a dokimus, a mind that God evaluated and then rejected. You're all screwed up in your head. You're out. You can reach a point of no return in your mind. Did you know that? And there's no hope for you. You're a living, walking zombie. Yes, right here. It's a reprobate mind. It's the Greek word adokimus. It means your mind has been rejected by God. It's so polluted, so distorted, so full of crap, so full of lies that God boots it out. Yeah, humanity. God booted out the entire human race. It was so screwed up. He said, listen, I'm going to start this thing over. And only 8 people survived. No. Well, no. A reprobate mind? Oh, they're easy to spot. I mean, there's symptoms all over the place. Their heads full of lies. Everything they say about God's a lie. They justify every sin they do. I mean, there's all kinds of different symptoms with somebody who has a reprobate mind. Mm-hmm. They could be an alcoholic, but that doesn't mean they have a reprobate mind. We've seen a lot of alcoholics saved and delivered. Yeah, reprobate mind is when you kind of cross the line. You crossed over to this one, and now you can't come back. You're so gone, so full of evil. Your mind's so bent towards sin that nothing registers anymore. You share the gospel with them, you preach to them, you pray with them, nothing sinks in. No, not really. No. I've never seen one saved. I suppose it's possible. I'm not going to say nothing's impossible. But once you're a reprobate mind, you're in some bad trouble. You've crossed over into the other side. And then that's what it is. God said, hey, you're out. And they didn't want to do anything morally right. So now let's go over this situation for a second so that you, when you're ministering to people, you can understand the options you're dealing with, because people are very complex. And there are no canned answers for people. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. No, people are a lot more complicated than that. And if you just try to oversimplify people, you're going to be very embarrassed. And you're going to get caught and you're going to get embarrassed because they'll do something you weren't expecting. Kind of like the sound system. And this is 4 months of work. We've been working on the sound system. Can't get it. Yeah, not with this equipment. But we've got professional on it. Now, genetic, what influences these illnesses? Okay, let's take a look at it real quickly because you're going to be running into these people in your ministry. You need this information, believe it or not. When you're born, you are essentially a product of your family tree. Every human being is a product of their family tree. You carry the genetics of the tree right here to you. That's who you are. Your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, everything, all of it. It's all part of you. We all go back to Noah, and by extension, we all go back to Adam. Okay, we all came from Noah, and we're all related. That's weird. Well, it is what it is. We're all related. It was Noah that fell out of the boat, him and his family, in the mountain, Turkey there, somewhere in Turkey, where civilization began, right? And you are born damaged goods. As a human being, you are born damaged goods. Okay? As King David said, Father knows our frame. We are just dust. That's one of the reasons he's so eager to have mercy on us. That's one of the reasons somebody can sin like a madman and be forgiven. That's one of the reasons God rushes to the rottenest sinners you can possibly imagine. Why? We're all so damaged goods. And in that damage, you inherit certain things. For example, you may inherit assets and deficits from your family tree. You may be incredibly intelligent. You may be a great athlete. You may also inherit certain other deficits. For example, avulsions to chemicals, like my mother, for example. My mother was what they used to call in bars years ago, a cheap drunk. What was a cheap drunk? Well, it's a gal you only have to buy a few beers for, and she's bombed. Well, what's going on there? My mother inherited by her genes an avulsion to alcohol. Okay, my dad did not have that. So my dad would pull up with mom. They would head into the bar. Me and my sister at home. And my dad drank a keg of beer and drive home. Mom had 3 beers. Couldn't spell cat if you spotted her with a C in the A. My dad drank a whole keg. Now, how can that be? Well, my dad did not inherit a predisposition from birth for alcohol. My mother she couldn't drink. My mother became an almost instantaneous alcoholic. You know, she was like, boom, instantly addicted. And my dad was not. Is this making sense? Both my parents smoked like chimneys, and when they quit years later, after they got saved, my mother had a terrible time with it, and my dad quit. It was like that, like the sound system here. You're done with it. It's just gone. Now, why is that? Well, it's genetic. Is anybody understanding what I'm saying? Smoking is a textbook example. And again, it's chemical, it's DNA, it's genes. I just quit. I got to quit. I'm starting to cough. Okay, I'm quitting. Somebody else has to have a patch. They got to get shots. You know, they got to have ethanol. You know, they can't quit. Are you listening to me? Well, it's their genes. Some people in psychology, we call it an addictive personality. It's not. You're born with this propensity to absorb, so to speak. So this person quit drinking, that one can't. This one quit smoking, that one can't. You know, it's the same thing. Well, the same thing is true with sexuality. Some people can be born with a high sex drive. Some people can be born with a low sex drive. Some people can be born with different things. It's the way they're born. We have a predisposition or a propensity for certain types of sinning. Does that make any sense? Some people have LT, and some people got HT. The inside joke there. Okay, now secondly, these sexual lust disorders also are triggered through child abuse, and this is the most common venue demons get into people's bodies and cause them to develop sexual perversions through child abuse. It's very common for females who are sexually abused as children to either become promiscuous or bisexual. As common as ordering a pizza. It's very common for young boys who are sexually abused to become homosexual. What happens is these lust demons, these powerful spirits, get into the body here as a child, and then when they go through puberty, they morph their sexuality so the person has urges for the same sex or both sexes. So that when you interview them years later in therapy or counseling, they'll tell you, I was born that way. And you say, well, how do you know that? I've always had a desire for men. I never had a desire for women, or vice versa. They think they're born that way, and it seems like they are, and they're not lying to you. And then other sinful things trigger these spirits, rape, lust, and so on. There are other people who pick up these sexual perversion demons just because they chose to do it. People choose to engage in certain kind of behaviors. Right? Yeah, it happens all the time. It's just like another thing. I was counseling a couple in marriage counseling, and years ago, he was attracted to her best friend. Well, on his birthday, they both slept with him. He got a threesome. He always wanted a threesome. And she still felt guilty over it. He, at the time, was like, okay, well, that one girl wasn't gay. Neither of those two girls were lesbians, but they were engaging in lesbian behavior because of another external stimulus. Some people choose to engage in certain behaviors. Living on the DL. Those guys are not gay. They're swapping or earning or trading or bartering or whatever they're doing. Does that make sense? So if you go to the Playboy Mansion, you'll see a lot of sexual behavior, but you'll see women on women, and you'll say, well, they're lesbians. They may not be lesbians. They may be just partying. Yeah. This making any sense? So some people choose to engage in that kind of behavior. I've had several people in counseling who got into bestiality when they were little. It's usually licking. It's usually pets. Usually a dog. But when they grow up, they never had any more sexual activity with animals. Does that make sense? Yeah. So just because someone appears in your eyes to be gay, they may not be gay. Did you hear me? Just because it looks like they're a lesbian, they may not be a lesbian. See, I don't care what Hollywood says. These idiot talk show hosts, Larry King and the guy that replaced him, what's his name? Piers somebody. They just say, "Oh, you're born gay or you're not." No, hey, I've been a counselor for 31 years. I know what they're. Okay? They don't know. They're just listening to kooks give their opinion. No, that's not how it works. Your behavior is not necessarily telling you. Their behavior is not necessarily telling you what's going on inside. You better not be fooled by that. You better investigate it and use your discernment to figure out what's really going on inside a person. Because they may not be what you think they are just because of what you heard or what you saw. All right, number one problem, of course, is all these things are involving evil spirits in some way or another. Okay? Either they got the person in the womb, either they got them as a baby, either they got them as a preschooler, whatever it is, wherever the abuse came in, it could have been in the womb. If your parents cursed you in the womb, I hate you. I don't want to be pregnant. Why are you here? You can draw in spirits in the womb and attack the child. They're not even born yet, and it wasn't the baby's fault. It's not any of the children's fault. Children cannot sin. They're not at fault. It's either the parents, the grandparents, somebody in their environment is at fault, and they sinned, and the children were the unfortunate victims of it. Right? Children can't sin. They haven't reached the age of accountability, and they don't know the difference between morally right and wrong. They're all in the wrong place. Every one of them, they're in the womb wrong, and it's not their fault. Their mother's a crackhead, or their mother was raped. It's not the kid's fault. Every kid is in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's not their fault. Children are not at fault. And that's the reason why Father is so merciful to children. He just rushes over to him to heal him. He can't wait to get to him. It's like he can't wait to get to you. He knows our frame. He knows we're just dust. Man, there's not much here beyond the grace of God. Yeah, we're all products of the grace of God. Every person in this room, vast majority of them, should already be dead and already burning in hell. Most of the people in this room. If I sat down for 3 days and had a 2-hour counseling session, I could probably go back through your life and say, whoa, there's a car wreck, you should have been gone. Oh, the guy just missed you. You should be dead. But you know what happened to you? There was a knock at the door. Mercy come knocking for you. You didn't even know it. You didn't know there was mercy after. It came looking for you before you were born. It came looking for you before you knew what it was. That's the good news of the gospel. That's a good sermon right there. Go ahead and steal it. That's good preaching. All right. Okay. Okay, does anybody not understand what I just said? The demons can attack a person in the womb, in childhood, during sexual abuse. They morph the person during puberty, and they grow up with sexual perversions or unnatural sexual desires that are not theirs. Okay, here's the good news. Listen carefully. Your unnatural sexual desires are not yours. That's what's great about it, and that's why Father runs over these people to help them. That's why I cannot stand these Baptist preachers. They make me sick to my stomach. We hate homosexuals. You need to kill. Hey, dude, I don't want to hear it. Father can't wait to get his hands on these people. Because he knows it's not them. Father knows stuff we don't know. Mercy knocks on every door of every gay person. I would never condemn a gay person for anything. Huh? No, that's outrageous. No, it isn't. It's grace. Father knows that these spirits attacked them when they were young. He was there when it happened. He saw it happen, and it broke his heart. That's a good sermon, too. Childhood is the breeding ground for these horrible things. Now, that child right there was traumatized somehow when she was young. Beaten, abused, verbally abused, whatever it is. And it wasn't her fault. See, and Father was standing there watching it when it happened, and he knows it wasn't her fault. So that girl there, let's say at the age of 17, is sleeping with everybody in the world she possibly can, trying to get some kind of sense of somebody loving her. Father knows that what she's doing, he knows how wounded she is, and he knows how hurt she is, and he wants to help her, so he wants to get to her. So what he's trying to do is get somebody to go get her. That somebody, you. He knows how hurt she is. He was there when it happened. He was sick to his stomach when it happened. Why'd he allow it to happen? Hey, humanity has free will. You do what you want. You want to get healed? Come get healed. You want to go to hell? Go to hell. But you choose. God doesn't choose for you. You choose on your own. Nobody goes to hell because God had anything to do with it. You chose to go to hell. You went to hell. He didn't want you to go to hell. All them terrorists that flew in that building just broke his heart. He didn't want all them people dying and go to hell. And they did. Every one of them. Nobody goes to see Allah when they blow up a school bus. They all go to hell. Unfortunately, some of the people that get blown up go to hell. It was not Father doing it. He's not doing any of that. He's trying to save these people, not hurt them. He wants to help people, not destroy them. He's looking for you, not running from you. So when these people act this way, they're gay, they're promiscuous, they're what? Our attitude is, how can I help? It's not, God, you're sick. I mean, that doesn't even cross your mind. Right? You don't even think of it, do you? Shame on you. Your first thought is, how can I help you? What can I do to get the Holy Ghost in this place? Oh, you sinned 5,000 times? Have a seat. Let's talk about it. Yeah. Oh, these gays are no good. Have you looked in the mirror? You ain't no good either. But mercy knocked on your door. You're sitting here tonight and I can prove it. You're sitting right here. You shouldn't be here. Okay? So when I look at somebody and they got this, they got a milk cow fetish. You know, have a seat. Let's see what Father thinks about that. You're getting this, right? There is no sin that they did that can't be forgiven. So I, under no circumstance, am going to condemn them for it. That's not my job to condemn people. My job is to explain to them, listen, if you keep hanging around milk cows, you're going to pick up demons, you're going to die, and you're going to go to hell. You're going to face judgment. But that's not God's will for you. He likes you. He wants to help you. And I know how to help you. I can help you. Come on in. Have a seat. And you are supposed to help them. You're supposed to know how to help them. That's why you're here studying this material. You can help them and you will help them. You weren't there when they were abused as a child? No, it doesn't matter. You're here now to see their child abuse removed. See those wounds removed. See those demons removed. Replaced by the Holy Ghost, the precious blood of Christ. Okay? You say, well, I've gone too far. I can't be saved. You're lying. You're looking at me and you're lying. I know you're lying. You did not go too far. You can be saved. You can be helped. If you don't want to be helped and you've got a reprobate mind, you're done. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Excuse me. How are you doing? Can I help you then? Can I help you? See? You kick the dust off your feet and you go to the next one. That's what Father does. That's what Jesus does. Because child abuse in this country is prevalent. It's massive. It's widespread. It's all over the country. And people have grown up with these horrible emotional scars, and you and I can see them healed. I see them healed all the time right in this building, as common as anything in the world, by God's grace. And you are to heal these sexually perverted people. Because remember, it's not them. No.
So when you talk to the knowledge does trigger the repentance,
No.
you are predisposed to them to receive the Holy Spirit.
Well, both things you said are, yes and no. Again, it depends on the person. Like Jesus, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of ground. You sow the seed here, you get different responses. So this one may respond temporarily, a bit longer, not at all, and the rest of their lives. So Jesus said, just keep sowing your seed, and then these that don't like you, just kick off your dust and go to that one. And just keep going. Go, 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 and then boop, you're dead. Then you go home and get your reward. You move yourself into the New Jerusalem. You live there forever. But what you don't want to do is backslide, go back into sin, start chasing money and material things, die, go to hell, and end up with a pit, burning. That's not working. That's not good. Long-term pit things are not working. It's not good. Okay, so it's better to do with a little less here in this life than the horrors of hell in the next one. And anybody who's gone to hell will vouch for everything I just said and a lot more. I know about a lot more about it than I do because I've never even been there. All right, let's wrap it up and close it. Part 1 over with. We'll do part 2 next Friday of sexual sins. When you grow up in this family tree, you are damaged goods when you're born. Let's say you're born here. You had this tree, and you may see demons already in your family tree. Now, they're pretty easy to spot because you can, when you're ministering to somebody about their family history, and this is why doctors always get a medical history from you. See, they don't understand why we do it, but they're doing it for medical reasons. But in your family tree, depending on the spirits, you'll see a lot of alcoholics in a family tree, or drug addicts. You'll see a lot of people that are criminals in the family tree, a lot of gangsters, a lot of people in jail, a lot of people in and out of tent city. You'll notice that in the family. You know, in the next, these people over here, nobody even got a speeding ticket. But you got all kinds of felons on this tree here. And again, different families, different demons. They attack different ways, depending on the type of sin of the people here. Okay? A lot of women have weird breast cancer in their family for absolutely no reason. It doesn't make a lick of medical sense at all. It's all demonic, and everybody's coming down with breast cancer. You'll see another family tree with these type of strange sin in it, but it'll be repetitive. So you know, once you see a repetitive series in a family, you know that there's something spiritually wrong there. There's some generational curses, generational sin, something, demons coming down through the tree. Because when a spirit leaves a dead person, it always stays in that same tree. So if your Uncle Harry died or your granddad died recently, his spirits left his body and headed for the family tree. And I've actually had people in my office I've been counseling and told me that after such and such died or so and so died, it's usually a close relative, a wife, a spouse, a child, something like that. They'll say to me, you know, ever since that happened, I haven't been the same. I've had these symptoms and that symptom. I started dreaming. They'll trigger, something triggered. And the reason for that is when this person kicks the bucket, the demons stay in this tree. They don't go to that guy's tree. They stay in this tree. They're assigned to these families. Did you hear me? The spirits are assigned to, listen, take out the Joneses, take out the Smiths, take out the Williamsons. Wipe the whole thing out. That's what the devil told them to do. Kill everybody in that family. So they get in here and you'll see a lot of incest or mental illness or something like that. See? Right? And you can see these patterns in families. You're talking to them for 5 minutes. You go, man, something ain't right here. This doesn't smell right. Poverty's like that. You see a lot of people in a family tree. Everybody, they're intelligent, they're capable. A lot of people are educated, but everybody's broke. They get money here, boop, they go broke. Now they got money, boop, and it's like this yo-yo. Money, feast, famine, feast, famine. It's nuts. And they always end up broke. Even when they got money. You know, like lottery winners. They got the money, boop, it's gone. It's a generational curse. It's in the family tree. The demon's here stealing all the money and they're working their way down, wiping everybody out. And they're all broke. Nobody has any money. So this is what you got to watch out for here. They'll stay in the family tree, and if you had a relative die, they'll attack you. And you'll start to develop weird symptoms, similar pains, similar diseases. This stuff transfers down, you know. So if you had a bunch of Satan worshipers 50, 60 years ago here in your family tree, and they're cursing everybody, but these demons are coming down, and you probably got a curse on you. You can break those off tonight if you stay for the healing service. Curses are fairly easy to break off. I'll show you how to do it if you have that.
Can prayer shield?
No, because you're not even born yet. See this this stuff here. See all this sinning's going on here. You're born here. You don't even know what happened. There's already incest running amok here, and you're born down here. You know. Now, after you get born again, and you go through the process of renouncing and rejecting, so you can break these curses off yourself. You can't break them up. You can't break them out of your family tree. You can break them off yourself and your kids. And you need to do that. If you have these weird symptoms in your family tree, you better take care of this business, because they will not give up. They will not give you a break. They will not leave. They're not going to back off of you. They've been assigned by Satan to stay in your family tree and destroy you. And if whatever the curse is, if it's money, listen, you're going to die broke unless you get that curse broke off you. Period. They're smarter than you are. They're better at business than you are. And they know how to wipe you out. They send you people to wipe out your business. Particularly if you're self-employed, you're going to go broke quick. How do they do that? They send you kooks and nuts to hire or help you. You know, you're hiring these people, you think they're helping you, kind of like this thing here, the sound. You know, the demons send these kooks in, and nothing works. And their plants, they look good initially. They talk good too. Man, what's your background? Oh God, I built the Empire State Building. You know, they're having trouble sweeping out the building after it's built. And the demons are sending them in. Oh, I stucco, electrical, you name it. Oh, I built the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, did you? Yeah. You got any tools? No, I lost those. I mean, it was on crack for a while. It's all a bunch of hooey. But anyway, the point I'm making is the demons are sending these people in. They're plants. See? They don't even have any tools anymore. I'm not even joking. Oh, yeah. I'm serious. They'll just tell you their background in detail. Better believe it. God almighty. I used to work for Al Linzer. I built race. They can't tune up a golf cart. But you hired them because you didn't have the sense. Again, it's all a curse. They're coming in. They're going to tube your business. And you're going to go broke. Why? Because you didn't check the family tree here. This has all been happening. You're going broke here, but you got to remember, Uncle, Harry, Grandpa, they went broke too. You wasn't even around, they going broke. Mystery brokes. See? You say, well, I'm a pervert. Well, you might be a pervert, but I'll tell you what. Up here, you got perverts running amok you don't even know about, and you wasn't even born yet. Abusive husbands, who are they? Oh, they all of a sudden they popped out from under the table. No and hell no. They started here. There was an abusive husband here. These demons knocked him off, then got him, then got him. All these wives were beat up through here. Now you're getting beat up. Well, you married this turkey. You didn't even know what was going on here. You married a fool. Now he's kicking your face in. Why? You married somebody God didn't tell you to marry. Stupid. I'm not joking. Why do you think humans come up with this love at first sight stuff? So you don't examine them. Oh, we're in love. You're in love, all right. You're headed for the gates of hell. Why? Because you don't look at anything with love at first sight. Oh, this is in the bag. It is, really? Did you know we've got all these rapists coming down through here with this love at first sight? Yeah. No, I didn't bother to check that out. I didn't ask any questions. It was love at first sight. No, it's soul tie at first sight is what that is. That's not love at first sight. That's demonic soul tie. Getting a little too deep for these Friday night. I should have done this on Sunday night. This crowd's not ready for this kind of stuff. All right, and that's the end of it there. Went over my time. Now we'll take a few questions and wrap it up. That's the end of our first Friday night teaching. How'd it go? Good? I wasn't specifically accusing you of being a pervert. You did not call somebody up and say, "Hey, I went to a Bible study, Pastor, and Brother Mike said we were all perverts." I never said that. I never said that, okay? That's not true. I have it on tape. We're supposed to have it on tape. But the problem is nothing works here, so we don't have it on tape. So I'm scot-free. I'm off scot-free. All right. Does anybody have any questions about human sexuality, part 1? Yes, ma'am.
Like my dad had like 5 brothers, and some of them were abusers, but then others seemed like they really loved their wife. Why does that happen?
Okay. She just asked a great question. Now, what she was essentially saying, I'll paraphrase it, is that a lot of these people in my family tree were sick, but a lot of them were not sick. Is essentially what she asked me, not in those words. And again, that's all demonic. It's not medical. See? If it was medical, the doctors have no explanation for this. Now, who had breast cancer in your family? Oh, this, that. Well, why didn't these have breast cancer? Blah, 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 blah. It's all demonic. You see, the demons catch this person. There's an opening there. There's not an opening with this one. So you've got these perverts here, but you got a Sunday school teacher here, a honest businessman here, and so on. The demons don't rarely ever take everybody, because not everybody has open doors. Okay? But the spirits that get in here, they start to develop this pattern. These type of demons, for example, these demons here have different skills than these, so to speak. These have different skills than these, so to speak. And so that's how you can see the different patterns. But not everybody in the family tree has a felony. I mean, I've never even seen that. Not everybody in the tree is family. Not even, gangsters have that. Some people are not in the mafia. Not everybody in Gotti's family was in the mafia. Most of them were, but again, same demons, just different people. They have an open door, they'll catch that one. Yes?
So, you give your life to Christ. Demons fight back, right? It's like the Old Testament sprinkling of the blood, death back.
Well, now let's stop you right there. He said if you give your life to Christ, the demons pass you. Probably. Now, if you're born, let's say you got all these sick people here, and you become a Christian here, but you still have an open door, you can still get one. Okay? So it depends if you're a sinner or a saint. If you have an open door, you can still get infected with the spirit. So the answer to your question is, probably.
But what I wanted to actually ask is, so that demon is bypassed if the door is closed. Does it necessarily mean that it goes to the child?
Yes. It'll skip over you and go. They stay in the family tree, and they go right down the tree, and they'll try and pick off your kids. And pretty soon you'll notice one of your kids is picked off. How do you notice that? How do you know that? Symptomatology. It's just like a medical exam. If your kids have spirits, you see the symptoms in them. Oh, you know what? You act just like my dad did. He used to go ballistic just like that. Oh, really? It happens all the time. Your kids start, look in the mirror. Have you looked in the mirror? When you was a kid, you said, there's no way in the world I'll ever grow up like my mother. She was just this and that and that and this. You're 50 years old. You're carbon copy of your mother. You even look like her. Yeah.
So there's no such thing as generational curse.
Well, no.
It's only on an individual basis.
Well, no and yes, no and no. Now, the generational curse can stop with you and your kids. That is correct. That's possible to do that. You can stop it through the blood of Christ. You can stop it tonight. But usually what I run into is that people stay for the healing service and then their kids are already infected. They just got the information tonight. It's too late to save the kids, so they have to go through deliverance later. But the key to it is getting the parent delivered first. That's the trigger. That's the key issue. You got to get the parent delivered and saved first. Yes, you can. You can break. Can you break off the generational curse of the child still in the room? Yes, you can, because the parents, by God, have legal authority over the children. Can you break it off your adult children who have free will? You cannot, but you can set it up for the Holy Ghost to stack the deck on you. He'll just move in there and start kicking the devil's face in. But you can't just go, in the name of Jesus, curse your bro off of someone who has free will. See, if he wants to smoke a crack pipe, God's not going to send Michael down here. Give me that pipe. Stop it. It's not going to happen. See?
What about soul wounds? What if you're born again, spirit filled, and you've had a deliverance, and then it wants to come back a few years later? But I'm sensing that I still have soul wounds. So I've been delivered. How do I heal the soul wounds?
The same way. They're easy to heal. I had people healed this week of them. Last Sunday night, we had several people at the altar healed of soul wounds. Soul wounds are scars that get on your soul. They're like stabs, cuts, and they hurt. And these wounds cause emotional pain. But they lie dormant most of the time until they face a trigger. And the trigger is something that flares that thing up, see? And it's usually a relative, a coworker, a situation, a smell, a word somebody says to you, and you can kind of, that old wound in there just flares up. I had one flare up on me this week. See? And they go dormant. You think they're not there. That's why God allows adversity to come into your life. He's triggering those wounds there because he's trying to tell you, son, there's still a little pain in there. I just did a radio show on this coming out next week. Your emotions are the thermometer of your soul. And emotions are very good. They're a wonderful asset because they're telling you something's wrong. Where? In the soul. Your emotions come out of your soul, not your mind, not your body. They pass through your body. They don't come from your body. So if you have a pain, emotional pain, something triggers it, somebody sounds like somebody you knew when you was a kid, and you had a little, kind of like, ugh, against that person. That's a red flag. There's a little wound in there, and that thing needs to come out. Or somebody says something to you, and it sounds like something that hurt you years ago. This little phrase or something. My dad used to say that. And you kind of feel tension in here. Oh, yeah, that hurts. That's an old soul wound, and the Holy Ghost can just lift those right out of you. If you stay tonight, you won't lift it out of you. Really. You can heal tonight if you want to stay for that. But if you have a soul wound, you can feel them. If you have nothing there, if there's no wound there, you have no emotions over it. Okay? So, if I were to say to you, tonight, sir, you're going to be visited by Martians in pink underwear. Now, as I just said that why are you laughing? As I said that to him, I noticed there was no fear on him at all. His face looked perfectly normal. He's fine. Why? He doesn't have any Martian wounds anymore. He either got rid of them or he never had them. Or he doesn't. Yeah, exactly. There's no pink underwear wound. So it has no effect on him. So that means if somebody does something to you and it has no effect on you and you don't feel nothing, there's no wound there. You're fine. Okay? But if somebody says something to you, they make a racial slur, and you go, wait a minute here. Whoa, thank you for using the N word. That's a very productive word. Why is that? It's bringing out some kind of deep-seated rage there about racism, and that's very productive. See, your emotions, if you can learn to recognize them, they're your friend, and they'll help you spot problems. Your emotions are the thermometer of the soul. Once that wound is gone, doesn't matter. They can use the A word, the B word, the Z word, the N word. They don't have any word around you at all. You're just sitting there like you're just at Dairy Queen having ice cream. It doesn't even bother you anymore. Why? There's no wound there anymore. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's usually related to child abuse, usually marital abuse, divorce, some bad personal trauma. It's usually related to somebody you loved or cared about who let you down and gave you a surge of disappointment that shot into your soul and scarred you. You trusted this person, they let you down. You loved them and they stabbed you in the back. See? And that's what really hurts. It's not from strangers. You don't have a vested interest in strangers. They don't normally hurt you. It's usually somebody that's you've got a hook in. There's love there, there's dependence there, there's trust there, and they forsook you. They let you down, they disappointed you. And it drives that spear into the soul. And then from that day on, you have that little pain under that circumstance. It hurts. That happened to me this week. And pains over the certain circumstances. And it was a red flag telling me, hey, you got to get that fixed. See? I got to get that fixed. And I'm going to get it fixed. But I wouldn't have known it had God not allowed negativity, crap, corruption, nincompoopery to come into your life and stir up your emotions. You see that? Right. And you can self stir up. Let's say, for example, quickly, you fail. Oh, what a shock, I failed. And you go through this real hard on yourself thing comes out. God, you idiot. Why'd you? And you catch it. You can feel it. Your stomach tenses. Your throat gets a little tight, and you feel that self-condemnation coming out. Why did you do that, you dumbass? And you go, wait a minute here. I still hate there's a wound of self-hatred in there. I got it. See what I mean? And it wouldn't have happened had you not screwed up over here and you were disappointed in yourself again. Does that make sense? Yeah. And it wouldn't have happened had you not screwed up. If everything goes perfect and you lived on a cloud and we just all floated around, how you doing? Nobody would ever get anything fixed. Because when you float around on clouds, there's not a lot of adversity up there. Okay, there's not too many wars going on, floating from one cloud to the other. How are you? Okay, that's not life. This is life. All right. So, another question.
How do we stop a pattern from happening? Like when I was little, I was bullied.
You were what?
Bullied. And then my first job, I was bullied. And it just happened again a little while ago. And
Okay.
I'm learning to stand up for
Oh,
myself.
okay.
I keep attracting the same type of person.
Oh, great question. Hold on there. Did you hear that? What a great teaching tool this woman is. Thanks for coming tonight. She says, I got bullied here. I got bullied. There's a pattern of being bullied, she said. And then it recently happened again. And I seem to draw in bullies. Did you hear her? Oh, this is great. Now that's a combo problem. Okay? This woman has some kind of a curse of something from Satan somewhere where these spirits that attack her draw in bullies. You know, it's kind of like women that have this certain soul wounds that draw in certain types of bad men. You know, like these movie star women. They're good people. They're moral. They're conservative, but they like bad boys. And then they have these bad boys come in their life, and 2 years later, oh God, he's been sleeping with. Oh no, I can't believe it. You can't believe it. Of course it was going to happen. You have this curse, and these type of people are drawn to you. That curse has to be broke off. The second thing is, the reason that curse works is because she has a little bully wound in there. It's that sense of injustice. Somebody hurt her. She was innocent. They beat on her. They hurt her. They wounded her. And it was wrong. And it wasn't right. Somebody should have helped her. They didn't. Somebody should have cared, and they didn't. And she took in a scar. See? So it's a combination there. She draws them in, and when they get there, she feels this kind of, oh man, that again? Ugh. See? Once this thing's removed and that's broke off, she's 100% free. It just disappears. It's called humanity. This is how people work. And they're very complex. You must be very patient with them. People must be handled with love and patience. If you handle them any other way, they'll freak out on you. And they'll hurt you. Some of them will get weapons. Yes, people are getting shot left and right now. I mean, it's unbelievable. And it's going to get so much worse. You know why? All these people are so massively wounded. Every one of these shooters are massively wounded people. It happened today. You know, that poor guy got shot 42 times by those cops in Michigan. It just happened today. We're going to be running into this forever, folks. Forever. It's going to be getting worse and worse and worse. Everything's getting worse as we head toward the end of the dispensation of grace and the rapture. It's going to get much worse. And you need to get discipled. You need to get your anointing. You need to get out there and get your souls. We need to die and go home. But not before we fulfilled our destiny. Okay? You are not a walking idiot puttering through life. You have a God-given call on your life, and you are to have this knowledge. You are to be discipled, and you are to become a warrior in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. You are not to be a spiritual loser. That is not your destiny. It's not your call. You are not a coward. You are not a wimpy introvert. You have a powerful anointing inside. You have the Lion of Judah in there. Not this little lamb that walks around, oh, I take a beating. No, that victim crap ends tonight. Okay? You have a call on your life, and you are to fulfill it. You are not to die like this. Period. That is not God's will. And I'm speaking for God right now. If you were here right now, you'd say something similar, I guess. You are not to die like this. You have the Holy Ghost. You are to be like Him. And you can't be like Him by doing nothing. Okay? You've got to change. You've got to fight. You've got to work. You have to come in. You got to get it done. Amen.